This is Story Recapped. Today, I'm going to explain a drama, horror, mystery film called Midsommar. Spoilers ahead. Watch out, and take care. A hanging mural depicts a strange, terrifying ceremony. Then, it opens into photos of gloomy, frozen forests with traditional folk music playing in the background. In a snowy village, the phone rings in the middle of the night. A student, Danny Ardor, calls her family's house. However, no one answers, so she leaves a voicemail for her parents, expressing her anxiety about her bipolar sister, Terry, who left her a strange email. Danny then contacts her boyfriend, Christian Hughes, with his friends, Josh, Mark, and Pele. Danny tries to hold her tears, but Christian assures Danny that this is simply another Terry episode. However, he adds that Danny merely contributes to Terry's ploys for attention. Danny still asserts that Terry is her sister, but agrees in the end, thinking that Christian is just trying to comfort her. Still, her anxiety is there, so Danny calls a friend and confesses her worries about leaning on too much to Christian. Her friend consoles her that he should be there when she needs him. Danny then receives a call from an unknown number. At the same time, Josh and Mark believe that Christian should break up with Danny. He is wanted out of the relationship for a long time since he feels everything is too much with her. Pele reminds him that he'll meet many other women on their forthcoming trip to Sweden. Suddenly, Danny calls Christian once more. This time, Danny is weeping uncontrollably. Authorities then enter Danny's childhood home, where Terry had polluted the house with carbon monoxide, killing her parents before cramming the tube into her mouth and taping it there. Christian visits Danny at her place to calm her down. Several months later, Danny is still coping with her loss. She goes out with Christian and his buddies, where she hears all about their trip to Sweden. They plan to attend a midsummer event in Harga, Pele's hometown, to witness a ceremony that takes place every 90 years and lasts approximately 9 days. Josh is especially curious since he wants to write about the event for his anthropology thesis. As a result, Danny and Christian do not speak on their way to Danny's place. Irritated, Danny confronts him for not telling her about the trip they already scheduled in 2 weeks. Christian apologizes, but Danny doesn't find it sincere and tells him that she doesn't need an apology. To compensate, Christian then invites Danny to go with them to Sweden. The following day, while Christian and his friends are talking about meeting girls in Sweden, Christian informs his buddies that he invited Danny to come, much to the guy's surprise, but Christian assures them that she won't go because she's still hurting from the loss of her family. Danny then walks in, and the guys awkwardly greet her. When Mark excuses Christian, Pele tells Danny about the Midsummer Festival and their tradition of selecting a May Queen at the end of the festivities. Pele also tries to console Danny about her loss by mentioning that his parents had also died, but the mere thought of it causes her to cry, so she goes to the restroom. 2 weeks later, Danny goes on the trip with Christian and his friends. On their first stop, they meet Pele's brother, Ingemar, and an English couple named Simon and Connie. The gang consumes magic mushrooms, but Ingemar gives Danny a special tea since it tastes better. A little while later, the mushrooms start to kick in. Mark complains about it being so sunny, even though it's already 9 p.m., while Danny has a vision of grass growing on her hands. When Pele mentions that the group is like his family, Danny goes for a walk. As she walks, Danny thinks that a group of people is laughing at her. Danny attempts to hide in a shed, but is horrified to see Terry behind her. She then dashes into the woods, where the trees appear to shift around her before she collapses and dreams about Terry and their parents. After a few hours, Christian wakes her up. They travel further until they reach a village and meet the rest of the Harga community. Father Odd welcomes them. When Josh inquires about the festivals and community's various cultural components, Father Odd dismisses it and invites them to join the first day ceremony instead. While the ceremony is being held, Ruben, who has physical and cognitive limitations, paints vibrantly, then stops as he senses something unusual. As the community girls dance, the visitors sit and observe them. One of the girls, Maya, expresses her interest in Christian by playfully kicking him as he sits in a circle. Christian and Josh join the dance. Pele then gives Danny a drawing of herself as a birthday present. She feels grateful, yet disappointed that Christian hasn't greeted her. As Pele takes the visitors on tour, Connie wonders how long Christian and Danny have been together. Christian reluctantly says 3 years, but Danny corrects him and says that they've been together for 4 years. Connie and Simon then recall how they met and inform them that they're now engaged. Christian then inquires about a mystery golden tent in the distance. Pele tells him that it is sacred and no one is allowed to go inside. He then leads his pals to the location where they will sleep. On their way to their room, Connie notices a strange painting that depicts a love spell. Pele then shows them a communal space painted with colorful flowers and symbols that only the Harga community can interpret. Pele shares that the younger ones sleep in this space until they turn 36. Josh takes notes as Pele explains that they see life as a season. People under 18 years old are spring, then 18 to 36 is summer, 36 to 54 is fall, and by the time they reach the age of 54 to 72, they'll become a mentor. Danny then asks what happens after 72 years old, to which Pele does the slitting throat gesture, implying that they die. The group laughs it off, thinking that he's joking. A little while later, Christian asks Danny to go outside after Pele tells him that it's Danny's birthday. Suddenly, he sings a birthday song while trying to light the candle on a slice of cake. The following day, the group gathers with the rest of the community for a feast. They stand while waiting for the guests of honor to show, who are the eldest villagers, Ilva, and the laborer. As they sit and eat, the rest follow. After lunch, the guests of honor do a breathing technique to preside over a toast. They then ride an elegant carrier, and the rest follow and watch them to the edge of a cliff. As they go along the cliff's edge, the elders cut their hands. The newcomers watch in terror as Ilva jumps off the cliff and crashes her face on a rock, exposing her horrific, faceless skull. As Danny is about to break down, Connie and Simon demand to stop them from killing themselves. The laborer also jumps, but he just shatters his leg. He groans in agony, and the villagers imitate his sounds as if they're sympathizing with his situation. As they cry, 3 of the villagers continue to strike his skull with a sledgehammer, killing him for good. Simon and Connie express their shock, while Siv, an elderly lady, explains to the party that this is a natural part of their ceremony, as the 2 elders had reached the end of their life cycle, and prolonging it would have been harmful. On their way to the room, Danny excuses herself and walks to calm herself down until she breaks down in a field. She then heads to the quarter and packs her things. Pele goes to comfort Danny, believing that her sadness is due to her recent tragedy. He then tells her that he lost his parents in a fire, and when Pele found the community, he felt held and loved. Pele takes her hand and asks Danny if she honestly felt held by Christian or felt at home with him. This confuses Danny. That night, Danny has a nightmare where Christian and his friends abandon her there. As she watches them drive away, she is plagued by haunting images of her deceased family and the bodies of the 2 elders. Meanwhile, Maya slips something under Christian's bed while everyone is sleeping. Unbeknownst to her, Josh spots her. The following day, some Harga people bury the ashes of the 2 elders in the village center. Josh approaches Pele to ask about the piece of wood he found under Christian's bed. Pele acknowledges it as a love rune that casts a love spell. Christian walks in, and Pele informs Josh and Christian that they're permitted to work on their thesis as long as they do not reveal the actual names or location of the Harga. Suddenly, a man shouts at Mark for urinating on their ancestral tree, where they put the deceased ashes. Pele explains the significance of that tree, but Mark has a callous attitude towards it. That day, Simon and Connie intend to depart after seeing the suicide event. When Connie is ready to leave, a villager informs her that Simon has gone off with another villager to the train that would take them home. Connie is enraged, refusing to believe that Simon would leave without her, so she walks away on her own. Danny witnesses what happened, so she tells Christian about it, worried that Connie might get lost. Christian asks how Connie is and tries to sympathize, but Danny doesn't feel his sincerity. Christian then proceeds to question the villager for his thesis. He inquires about the village's mating practices, specifically whether incest is common there. The villager tells him that cousins can mate, but strangers are customarily brought in to breed with the natives. At the same time, Josh discovers that Harga bases their ceremonial activities on paintings created by Reuben, a disabled child who was the result of incest, yet regarded as a prophet. Reuben draws, and the elders interpret it. They trust him as Reuben is unclouded by normal cognition, which makes him open to the source. Josh requests permission to photograph Reuben's sketches, but the elder strictly declines. During lunch, Danny looks for Connie, but a villager claims that he drove Connie to the station. Still, Danny wonders why Simon left Connie, but Christian claims it could have just been a miscommunication. Annoyed, Danny questions if Christian could do that to her. The tension rises, while Mark is alarmed by the furious stare of the man who saw him peeing on the tree. A little while later, when Christian eats his food, he notices a hair on it. Mark asks if it's a hair from down there, making everyone disgusted. As Christian takes the hair away, Maya stares at him from a distance. Josh then looks at his notebook, trying to decipher symbols he found at the love rune. Suddenly, a female villager leads Mark away. Later that night, Josh sneaks inside the room where the ceremonial books are hidden. As he takes photos of it, someone who he believes is Mark interrupts him. As Josh realizes it's not Mark, the man strikes his head with a hammer. The man wearing Mark's face checks if Josh is dead, then drags his body away. The following day, an elder announces that a ceremonial book is missing. He demands everyone to return it or leave it in the temple even when no one is around. The elder then looks for Josh and Mark, whose disappearance seems suspicious, but Christian claims that they are not associated with them, surprising Danny. Danny joins the women of the village while Siv summons Christian into a house. A little while later, Danny is dressed like the girls with a flower crown on her head. She then drinks tea and is invited into the May Queen's pageantry, where they dance around a maypole until one of them is left standing. As the women form a circle, Danny notices her feet turn into grass. When she's about to break down, the competition begins as they move while holding each other, dragging her into the rhythm. Danny is confused at first, but soon gets the beat and lets her body sink into their moves. Elsewhere, Siv asks Christian about his feelings for Maya, but he doesn't know what she means. Siv then tells him that Maya is into him and that they're an ideal astrological match. Confused but unbothered, Christian then tells her that he thinks he ate her hair, to which Siv agrees. Christian then leaves and watches Danny dancing around with the other girls. When a villager offers him a drink, he refuses, but when he notices Maya nearby, he instantly drinks it. Meanwhile, the competition is down to 3 participants. After a few more dances, Danny is the sole survivor, and she is crowned as May Queen. Everyone runs to her, except for Christian, who seems confused about what's happening. The people greet her, and they all seem happy. As they approach her, Danny sees her mom among the crowd. Then suddenly, Pele kisses her on the lips. They then raise her in a carrier and bring her to the feast, where the rest are waiting. As Danny sits and eats, the rest follow. Everyone seems so nice to Danny, and even tell her that she's part of the family now. On the other hand, Christian sits far from her. Confused, he asks the elder beside him what's happening. The elder snaps his hands near Christian's head, making Christian even more perplexed. He then notices Maya and watches her go inside a hut. While Danny heads into the farm to bless their livestock, the rest of the community lead Christian into the hut where Maya went. Inside, they let Christian breathe in smoke that further entices him to take Maya's virginity. They open the door, revealing Maya in the middle of the room, while other women surround her. As they have a strange, passionate encounter, the elderly woman imitates Maya's moaning. When Danny comes back, she hears the women moaning from the hut. She nervously approaches it despite being warned not to. Danny peeks into a keyhole, then sobs and vomits in front of the door. The women bring her inside a room as Danny cries hysterically, feeling cheated on. As Danny cries, the women also imitate her sobs, radiating an incredible amount of pain from the room. Maya's room, however, echoes with pleasure. As Christian is about to release, an elderly woman keeps him inside Maya to ensure they get what they want. After he climaxes, a mortified Christian runs out to rescue Danny. As he nakedly roams in the field, he sees Josh's feet half buried. Frightened, Christian heads inside a shed where he finds Simon's mangled corpse being used as a blood eagle. Christian approaches Simon's body and sees his face with flowers on his eyes. A villager then blasts powder in his face, rendering him unconscious. The ceremony is about to end. According to custom, 9 people will be sacrificed. This group consists of 2 elders, 4 strangers, 2 live volunteers, and 1 selected by the May Queen. Christian is drugged and weakened, while Danny is elegant and vibrant in her gown. The villagers bring Christian and a villager named Torbjorn before Danny to choose for a sacrifice. After everything she's been through, she chooses Christian as the last sacrifice. The villagers bring the corpses into the tent, while others empty a fully grown bear to place Christian inside. They later take him, the volunteers, and the bodies of Simon, Connie, Josh, and Mark to the golden tent, which they then light on fire. Christian succumbs to his fate, unable to move or talk and only able to wheeze in anguish, while the volunteers observe and soon scream in pain and horror. Outside, Danny watches the tent burn while the locals imitate the volunteers' screams. Danny collapses. However, as she continues to hear the locals cry and witness the tent fall, a sick smile forms on her face.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications. And leave a like, it really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.